Hi, 6th graders. Today we are going to do day 2 of 6.9. So our learning target is still I can convert fractions, decimals, and percents using equivalent fractions, multiplication, and division. So we did 1 through 6 on Tuesday. And now we are going to move on to the last section. Okay, so our first part is writing each percent as a decimal. So let's take a look from a percent to a decimal. If you notice, they're going the opposite way. Well, instead of multiplying by 100 to change from a percent to a decimal, we could divide by 100. That'll be a little bit easier of a way than writing it as a fraction and a decimal. Okay, so if we have 15%, we want to change this to a decimal. So we need to divide by 100. So instead of moving our decimal point to the right, now we're moving our decimal point to the left 2 places. So we go 1, 2, we get 0.15 as your decimal. And that's your answer. Alright, going on to number 2, this time we have 80%. Again, we need to move our decimal point 2 places to the left because we're dividing. 1, 2, we get 0.8. And if you wanted to add this 0 on the end, you could, but you don't need it there. Okay, that's your answer for number 2. And number 3, we have 125%. Again, we're dividing by 100, or we're moving our decimal point 2 places to the left. So 1, 2, we get 1.25. And that is your decimal. Awesome. So now moving on to the next section, we are writing each decimal as a percent. So if we go back to change from a decimal to a percent, we are multiplying by 100. So we're doing the opposite of what we just did. If we have 0.47, we want to multiply this by 100, or move your decimal point 2 places to the right. So we get 47%. And whenever you're writing a percent, you cannot forget that percent sign. That's super important so that people know what you're talking about. Okay, moving on to number 2, we have 1.75. And again, we are going to move this to a percent. So we move our decimal point 2 places to the right. So we get 175%. And the last one, we have 0.52. Again, we're moving our decimal point 2 places to the right. We get 52%. Alright, so that was our lesson on converting fractions, decimals, and percents. Please let me know if you have a question. Otherwise, have a fabulous rest of your day.